What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. I'm here to give you the big skinny on fancy serial numbers and what it's doing on eBay currently. My goodness, could we see currency outperform things like roll hunt finds and all that? It's kind of crazy. And the fact that some of these pieces are selling for as much as gold right now says the whole story. And we have about 36 hours worth of activity straight from eBay, and I'm telling you guys, if you haven't jumped into this, put aside the fact that maybe you're not at all interested in this stuff. Hunting through currency for some of these is a pretty big deal. The market at this point supports it here in 2024, and I don't see it going away. People have been collecting fancy serial numbers for a long time, and now we're kind of like realizing the full potential as the word gets out there, not only by me, but there's also a few other content creators that talk about this subject on a weekly basis. It's putting more of the word out there on the streets that this is something, ladies and gentlemen, that if you needed to get away and you needed a reprieve from coin roll hunting, you could strap search from the bank. If you need more money, to get by in your daily lives, fancy serial numbers seems to be the hot ticket item right now. And the cool part is you don't have to grade any of these. You don't. A lot of these, are purchased off market raw. They're purchased on the market raw. And people just simply prefer it that way, unless it's like a super atomic gem, crisp and circulated piece that's a grade like a 66 or higher. Otherwise, there's no real reason to grade these. Just keep the money in your pocket and just profit off of what you can just by relisting these. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Our first listing sold for $150. It's actually a lot of 3 notes, all with identical serial numbers. We got binary 0s and 6s. The only difference being between each one of the 3 notes is the block. All right, so we have a BD block, a CE block, and an EF block. But there's no denying when binary sells for $50, where 5 years ago people just scraped to get $10-15 for these things, kind of tells you where the direction of this hobby is going. All right, it's all for the good. This is a really, really neat 3-note set. All of the notes appear to be crispy gem uncirculated, very beautiful pieces. It's really cool when someone's able to go out of their way and just assemble the same serial number. Probably took them a while, I would imagine. So we got 2013, 2001 right here, 2003. All right, so 2001 series, 2003 series, and another 2003 series. So as you can see, it took a little while, and they just sat on these. I can imagine that they were either found in bank straps, obviously, right? Being in the condition that they are, or they were purchased on the secondary market 15 years ago. All right. And nobody knew the wiser that, here we are, 2024, and, each one of these sells for a $50 bill. All right. So that's a pretty strong performance there. Our next one right here, we are looking into the future with this note. Birthday serial number patterns are incredibly popular right now. They're selling between $20 and $30 a pop, which is cool. But there is still a lot of room for growth here, because if you looked on eBay and you typed in fancy serial number birthday, you're going to find that there's a fair amount of notes, but there isn't the full potential of what there could be. And people are actually looking for specific dates, whether it's a birthday, a passing of a family member, or maybe some other significant, event in their life where they need this. Maybe a wedding, marriage, something. But this one right here reads February 9th, 2025, which is damn near exactly 1 year into the future. And it sold for $30. Wow, it's pretty cool, huh? So this one isn't too far fetched, considering it's only a year down the road. Could there be a baby born on this date? Probably. Babies are born every single day all across the globe. Um, and the key thing that you need to keep in mind with birthday notes is they have to read 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, 4 digits for the year. And the way that it's oriented is to the Western way that we normally do it. If you use kind of like the European standard of how they write out their dates, they generally start, I believe, with the year and then the month and day. So, that could also work out as well in your favor if you came across one of those. They're still sellable, all right, for around the same amount of money. But just know that things like these, I tell folks, if you find one and you want to sell it, put it up as a buy now because it's going to take one or two specific people that need that particular date in order for it to be sellable. If you started out at $1 and ran a 7-day auction, you probably struggle to get $5 out of the thing. But that's why putting it up at this dollar value is a lot better, even though that the note might stay on there a little while longer. All right, and that's fine. This is more supplemental of a piece to add to your eBay store than anything else. Believe it or not, that was the only birthday note. Here's a 2017A. This is another binary serial number, 6s and 8s. This is quite a nice note. It looks to be, again, a crisp, uncirculated, crackling, fresh banger. This one sold for a C note. So that's it. The good old magic trick. Hey, let's turn this $20 bill into a $100 bill. And I'm just going to put it behind your ear and it's come out $100 bill. This one is true to life right here. Nice flip. And this is another recognizable serial number pattern that is adorned by collectors. Sure, it's a little heavy on the picture department here. There's probably like 8 or 9 photos, but just covering all the bases. And again, look out for things like this. Now, obviously, it's a $20 bill, so you want to make sure that you get way more than face value to make it worth your while. The next one that we have here, another cool one, binary 0s and 7s, and it's a radar, so it's a dual type of fancy. $32.01 is what it sold for on Sunday with 2 bids. When we look up close to this note, you're going to find that this one is, it's got a fair amount of circulation wear. It's not too much of a beater that, you would just kind of like, turn your head away from it. But that's really cool. So the first 4 numbers reads exactly the same, only mirrored for the last 4 digits. It's pretty cool that the serial numbers are all 8 digits because it really opens it up for a lot of really neat things that we could find. The birthday serial numbers is just one example of that. There you go. Nice see-through picture with some lighting showing that there's no pinholes. This is a method of photography for currency that I highly encourage anyone to do, because that's just going to further strengthen your case. Someone even did the whole My Currency Collection Coolness Index on there as well. It's a incredibly cool serial number, extremely cool as they call it. And then there you go. That's a great sale right there. Here's another one right here. This is a binary repeating serial number, 6,000, 6,000 on a $19.99 bill. How about that? $135. The buyer did not balk at the price whatsoever and just hit the buy now button on that one. It's pretty cool. A little bit older note, but you can find this on a much newer note and it would still sell for the same. But wow, $135 equates to about 6 ounces of silver, just for finding a dollar bill. You get to increase your stack if you wanted to sell that and move on from it. Another binary, 6 of a kind 5s, but most importantly, it's got a pair of 8s in there as well. This one right here, this is a pretty big seller. Fancies, Ronald J.H. Has sold many, many notes on the platform for years. $26, 14 bids on a dollar bill, 2003A. And there you go. I mean, it's pretty well worn. It's got a little red spot there on the left margin, and a little black doodad right smack dab in the middle of one. So not the prettiest looking note, but nonetheless a really solid sale there. Here's another binary with 6 of a kind twos, $34.88, 8 bids this time around on a $20 bill. So because of the high denomination, your amount of profit, your net profit isn't going to be as huge, because your cost into the note is $20. So pretty easy to see why that finding this on a dollar bill is a lot more equitable. You have more returns based off of how much your cost is on the item. But this is a nice one, with all things considering. This, Ronald had probably made about $10 in profit here, maybe a little bit more. And it's a good, nice collector piece for someone that collects that number. Pretty nice one here, although it's got some pretty hard folds in there. This is a 2009 $1 bill with 7 in a row ones. All right, damn near close to being solid. Check out the last digit. It's a 2. It's 1 away from this note, instead of it being worth $51.01 to about it being worth about $800 to $1,000. 10 bids on this one. All it takes is one number. It just incredibly skews the value slider, the calculator, over just a huge margin. It probably would have helped if the seller kind of flattened the note out a little bit. A little pro tip for you guys taking photography. Obviously, you want a note that's very presentable and something that doesn't look like it just came out of your wallet a second ago. Next one that we have here, gotta torque your head around a little bit, but it's looks like 2017 $1 bill with a low serial number 54. Check that out. Brand new seller, 0 feedback, and you say you can't sell anything when you have 0 feedback. This proves otherwise. How about $150? That is almost a 10th ounce of gold, right there. So, I mean, on eBay, there is a photo editor where you could rotate the photos. So if you can do that, it's just more aesthetically eye-pleasing, and the pictures are clear. I will say that. And the note seems to be in really nice shape. A nice, solid kind of XF condition note with a little bit of wear on there. So good job there to the new seller. Another neat one here. I'm telling you, these guys are flying out like you would not believe. 2017 $20 bill with a binary radar, 0005 5000. That's the ticket, $37.89, 4 bids this time around, and a relatively well-loved note here that's seen the paces of daily commerce. But yeah, again, another neat magic trick. Sell this $20 bill for $35 to $40, and that's a good way of doing it there. Here's a dollar bill with this is interesting. You guys need to pay attention to these, because at first glance it looks quite innocent and not too important, but it's sold for $20. Okay, number one. 2017, they did charge $10 for shipping, so obviously whoever bought this did see the value in it to support a $10 shipping price. So what we have here is a 6-digit ascending ladder in order, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even though it's not complete and all the way to the very end, all throughout 8 digits, it's a partial, and it starts out at the very beginning of the serial number, the first number, 0, and then all the way to 5, and then, just 09 at the end. Okay, so if you come across these, just understand that you probably have something that's worth way more than $1. I know a lot of people would say, oh, this is a spender. It's not there. It's not quite there yet. Or if 0 through 5 is like toward the end and there's a couple different random digits at the beginning, people who are sticklers in the hobby will tell you, yeah, just go ahead and spend it. But if you could get $20 for this dollar bill, why not just do that instead? Because ultimately there's a a varying degree of budgets out there. A lot of different collectors, from the beginner to the advanced. There are people that do angel numbers and various other different things of that nature. So there's kind of like a big market to support this at all levels. Here's a 7 of a kind twos this time around from our boy Ronald, 2017A. How about another $51 there, 22 bids. The note is, it's pretty raggedy. Probably consider this one to be like a low-end fine condition note, but nonetheless, the fancy serial number does prevail in making money here, so keep that in mind when you go to find these and then cast them off because the condition is a certain way. You need to move on beyond that and think outside the box and understand that this is going to be a highly, highly sought after note. Here's another binary, zeros and sevens on a 2017 $8 bill. Good looking note here as well. VF, it does have some sort of ink or writing on the reverse, which is a shame. But nonetheless, $36.88. 9 bids, very strong money for a note with some issues. Here's a 4-digit repeater, 7071, 7071. You can probably make the argument that's a step up repeater because it's a 7071. I don't know. People come up with all these things all the time. So it's just kind of like, my brain just figuring out different ways that you can market these. $17.95 sale here. And again, another VF condition note. Yeah, no writing, no problem. That works. And here is a 6 of a kind sevens. All right, so just because it's not a solid or a 7 of a kind or 7 in a row doesn't mean it's not valuable. This, ladies and gentlemen, case in point, is a $20 bill with an extremely high buy-in rate for your note. Does exhibit 6 sevens. It's just one of the more well-popular numbers out there in fancy serial number collecting because of how lucky it is. $33. Okay, so this person probably is going to stand to make about $8 after shipping. So it's not nothing. It's something. And it'll be another positive check mark on your feedback. Here is a pretty neat one. 1s and 8s binary on this 2017 $1 bill. $17.39, 4 bids this time around. Pretty nice. Again, you could flatten these out a little bit to show that the photos will do a lot more justice on things like these. Here's also our first one. This is what they call a double quad. So you have four in a row of any one number, and then another set of the same number in a row. So this is 4 3s, 4 4s. $170 is what this one sold for, which is simply phenomenal. This is one of the more higher echelon level fancy serial numbers that people look out for, and this one is just a beauty. It looks to be about an XF condition. I would say maybe a high-end VF now that I have like a better look at this. But yeah, this is realizing the dream right here when you come across something like this. Here's another big one. Did you guys know that true binaries are kind of like the belle of the ball of the fancy serial number world? These things, contrary to what you guys believe, some people say they're the most undeserving high-priced fancies out there. 0s and 1s is what they call a true binary because those two numbers make a binary. But $216.50, fact check it here. It's also a radar, a palindrome. So, 0011, 1100. So it reads it mirrored right down the middle. It was incredibly strong sales price here for this one, which I typically see on binaries anyways. And it's a very attractive, eye-appealing note as well. I like that one. First time in a while that we found what we call a millions note. This one has a digit of 6 and then 7 in a row zeros. This bad boy sold for 300 simoleons. And the note is pretty wavy. like they didn't flatten it out or anything like that. It's like, hey, this is what you get. It is what it is. Yeah, millions notes typically are one or two digits to start the serial number that lead off, and then they trail with either 6 or 7 in a row zeros. And that's where it got its namesake is millions because it's all zeros. This one is 60 million. $300. Can you imagine what $300 can buy you right now? You find this in circulation. Maybe your local coffee barista gave this back to you in change. They say that going to your coffee shop is too bad for you if you do it every single morning. But if you continue to pay in cash, you get things like this back. Maybe it's not so bad of a proposition. All right, so we do have a few notes that ended as best offers. Again, we're going to check on these through the website 130point.com to kind of figure out how much these did indeed go for, starting out with this low serial number 147. So what we're going to do is copy this field right here with the listing title. There's our website 130 point. We're going to click under search eBay sales and then scroll down a little bit. This search bar, we're going to paste what our listing title is, and let's see if it'll bring it up here. Because these dots are in here, it doesn't recognize weird characters like that. So I might have to take out the dots, possibly the asterisks, like this, and see if we could get a. There you go, $45. So they only took $5 off of it, which is fair. It's a 3-digit low serial number, and $45, $50, $60. Those tend to be kind of like the market for those types of pieces. So we had a true binary. Here's a true trinary, which are zeros, ones, and twos on the serial number, and it's on a $2 bill, and it's district number 1. Wow. $54. Yeah, and then they even threw in a pseudo birthday note, which is kind of like jumbled in there. It doesn't, I mean, it could be January 20th, the year 211, which is a long time ago, 1800 years ago. I mean, you can make the play for that and find out, just Google, that date and time and see if there was anything specific that happened that's meaningful. Nice looking, clean, straight note. Looks crispy unk, I would say, is the verdict on this one. $54. Pretty good price. This one right here, this is what they call a super radar. So you have 2 bookend numbers, and then you have 6 in a row of any one number sandwiched in the middle. All right. This one right here on this $1 bill. Okay, it's a pretty well-worn piece, probably a fine 15, with a few issues. Let's go ahead and see how much this one sold for, and then we got one more note for you guys. And that's going to go ahead and call it. And then that, my friends, is what all the buzz is about here in the fancy serial number world. All right, so it's not coming up with anything there. So what do we do here? Let's take out the apostrophe, possibly take out that there, the dollar symbol and the 1. Now let's see if we can generate something here. It looks like we're good to go. $55. Okay, again, $10 off. We expect the worst. Like someone got taken for a ride if they offered too low and the person accepted it. $55 for this one. Pretty good. It looks like back in December, I don't know, maybe the same person sold it for $46. So that's kind of funny. This looks like a Ronald J.H. listing. So someone took it, flipped it, and made $9. I mean, that's not going to break the universe there. And then finally, the last one. How about another double quad? Very desirable numbers here, 8s and 9s, but this one did sell for a lot less than the other one that we did see earlier. Yeah, let's see how well our minds are going to be blown on this one here. And it's an attractive note too. Again, double quads are some of my favorites. $90, ladies and gents, on this one. And again, we're seeing new sellers of these things. There's more people coming out to the fore to sell these. and really enjoy the hobby. And, we could use a lot more people than this. And that's just to show the strength of the hobby and for this segment of numismatics when we see more sellers. And we're just continuing to see more and more and more realized sales because this has picked up so much unbelievable steam. It's like a runaway freight train right now. So there you go. That's your look at the fancy serial numbers report for the last 36 to 48 hours. That was a lot of fun. As you can see, the money is just flying all over the place here with this. And if you need a little break from actual roll hunts, go ahead and pick up a few straps of bills from your local banking institution and get to work and see if you can identify some of these out of there. I'll be doing a video here soon going through about $500 in ones to see if we can, make it happen. A birthday note or binary, trinary, whatever. And then we're going to go ahead and flip those and see how much we could make and, kind of play into the market as well. So that's it. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Keep on hunting, my friends. And I will see you next time. Take care.